video everyone for number 14. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna finally create a tweet right from the mobile app. So this is what we're gonna do today, and also we're gonna talk about optimistic UI. So here I record a little video about what we're gonna do for the end. So as you can see, we can add a tweet. So I'm gonna add the tweet right when I'm gonna send to the tweet. I'm gonna get that right inside my list. I'm gonna do this by optimistic UI with apollo-graphql. So this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put the link here about optimistic UI in the for the Apollo. So you need to think about optimistic UI as a pattern to like simulate the result of a mutation. So finally, you just say, hey, I know what's gonna be the thing I'm gonna send and receive. So just show that if I receive an error, like you can like say example, if I add 1 to a number, if I receive an error, just remove the 1 I add. So you see. So this is what apollo-graphql asks us to do. So finally, we're gonna do a mutation like we did with the sign up, like that. But finally, when you finish that, you're gonna need to do an update of the store. So this is what we're gonna build today. So for doing this first, the thing we're gonna need to do, it's we are gonna jump on the code, and we're gonna first thing create the mutation. So go inside your mutation folder and create a new mutation. We're gonna call that create tweet.js. So that's gonna give us a good name to follow. So here as every mutation, so I think I'm gonna just it's big, yeah. So we're gonna import GQL from React Apollo. After that, we're gonna export default the GraphQL here, like that. So here we're gonna create the mutation. So I'm gonna say mutation. I'm gonna say create a tweet. So it's almost like we did in the backend. So here I'm gonna say text, and I'm gonna say that need to be a string, and it's required. So I put the bang thing here. So if no text is put there, Apollo gonna add the error. After that, I'm gonna say create tweet. And I'm gonna say text equal to my variable text. That's it, nothing crazy here. And now I can ask what I want to receive back. So I'm gonna say I want to receive my favorite count. I also want to have the ID because I need that to make sure the key of React is gonna be unique. I'm gonna need my create app. I'm gonna need my text too. Oops. And after that, I'm gonna need my user object because I need to show the avatar of the user, the username of the user. As you can see, we check everything we have here. First name, and finally last name. This is what we need finally as a return from the create tweet. That's it. So now after that, what we can do is we can jump right into the NewTweetScreen. First thing, we're gonna import the tool we need. So one of the tools we need is gonna be the GraphQL higher order component. So here with the GraphQL, what I'm gonna do too is I need to import my mutation because I need to pass that. As you know, I always like to put my mutation and query in uppercase like that. So I know that's gonna be mutation. So that came from GraphQL, mutation, and the create tweet file. After that, I'm gonna go to the bottom and I'm gonna wrap my new tweet. Sorry, I don't know what happened. With my GraphQL tag, and I'm gonna put right there my create tweet mutation. Here, this is a really big bug I find with Visual Studio Code. It's when I put GraphQL, I cannot enter the create tweet mutation here with the autocomplete. So I don't know what happened here, but so now here, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we can create the tweet. That's it, nothing more. So now we know with the tweet button, I want when I'm gonna unpress this tweet button, that's gonna be the time for add the tweet. So I'm gonna call that onCreate tweet press. It's gonna be the function I want to call. So I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna make it. And that's gonna be an interesting one because we're gonna do some thing with that. You're gonna see in a moment. But first thing is, if I click on that, I can click on my tweet right now. And I don't want because I have no text. So we can do another get and I'm gonna call this get button disable. I'm gonna just say when this button is disabled, I'm gonna say return this that state that text that length. And because as you remember in the backend we say -5 character, I'm gonna get an error. I'm gonna write I'm gonna do this right there in the front end. And now here I can say disable. It's disabled when the button is disabled, return true. So here that's gonna be return true or false with the length of the text. So now if I go there and I try to click, as you can see I have no opacity, but if I start to type something, now I can click. Perfect. So now here inside the onCreate tweet, we can do now wait this that props that mutate. So this is how you call a mutation. You're supposed to remember that when we did that in a sign up. I'm gonna say after that we need to pass variable. We take an object and this is the variable we pass, and here I'm gonna say this that state that text. So the text is gonna be equal to the this that state that text. So that's perfect. This is the only thing we need. And now if I do this, what's gonna happen? So now I'm gonna say hello world, and I'm gonna open my server in the same time. So now I'm gonna click, and what happened? Oh, I make a typo. That was created at. That was why. You can see how I debug. So now I'm gonna say hello world, and I'm gonna create tweet. Boom. You see what happened? So here, Mongo, so this is the debugger gave us that. Mongo add the hello world tweet right inside the DB with the object ID and everything, and he take the user that he take finally with the user we get from the GWT. But the thing is, if I close that, so you see first thing I need to close it by myself, and after that, just for showing you that really work. Now we see hello world. Perfect. We did one of the third thing we need to make today. The second thing is I want when I create to close the keyboard before to go back. So but before doing that, I'm gonna just jump here and I'm gonna say from React Native, I'm gonna say keyboard. Because you know the keyboard don't gonna close before the React navigation. So here we can really do this easy. Keyboard dismiss. And now finally we can call the go back function coming from this prop that navigation that go back, and we pass null because we are in the modal. And now if I do this, I'm gonna create my tweet. Hello world again. I'm gonna create tweet. Now you see that closed the windows, but now the tweet is create. But again, because we didn't use optimistic UI, I need to refresh. So time to do the optimistic UI for make like the real-time-ish fake. So now what we can do is create right after the variable here an object called optimistic response. Just like that. Here we need to say stuff like that, like type name, that's gonna be a mutation. And now I call I'm gonna say my mutation object here. After that, I'm gonna say type name, and I'm gonna say tweet. So if you don't know from where that came, I think a good idea should be if I show you this stuff here with the debug remote JS, you're gonna see what happened in my state. Finally type name is almost like a kind of ID inside the Apollo. So example, you see type name tweet. So this tweet, Apollo know this is a tweet, and you know this thing here, it's a user. And so you see, you can click and you're gonna see each stuff. So finally type name is just like, what is this type? Like, what is this thing? So now you say create tweet is gonna be a tweet. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to the user. So what I can do is I'm gonna say the text first. I'm gonna say text is gonna be equal to this that props this that state that text. So finally we need to fake it. So we need to pass it the variable right there. So because what apollo-graphql gonna do, we're gonna do this with the update function. After that, you're gonna take what you say to him. Hey, I'm gonna have that and that at the end. So take it like I give you. After that, I'm gonna say favorite count because we need that. We know because when we create the tweet, nobody have favorite him. We're gonna pass 0. After that, we need an ID. So what I'm gonna do for an ID, I'm gonna mat.run, and I'm gonna say mat.random, and I'm gonna say multiple by minus like this number, so it's like a million. So this is what Apollo GraphQL told to do, and this is for fake an ID. And now here I'm gonna say created at is gonna be equal to the new date object. This is the same thing MongoDB gonna do. So now after that we need to do the same for the user, because if not, we don't gonna have an avatar or nothing like that. So type name is gonna be equal to a user because it's a user. And here it's the same type name we have at the backend if you didn't see how that work. So now I need a username, but how can I get that? It's gonna be pretty easy because we have access to the user information inside the store from Redux. So what we can do, it's first thing we're gonna need to compose that. And so we're gonna take it, and I'm gonna need my connect from React Redux. I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna compose. Why I need to compose is because GraphQL cannot match with connect. So I cannot connect everything. I need to compose that to get both together. So I'm gonna do like this, and I'm gonna put my connect right there. So now this connect is gonna be pretty easy. It's gonna just do a map state to props. We're gonna take the state we have as an argument and gonna return a user props who's gonna be equal to the state that user that info. Because I know I just need the info, so I'm gonna call that user. So now we have access to everything about the user by doing this that props that user. So now I can say username because this is the information. So if you didn't follow what I say, it's so that's gonna be hard here. But if I go to my debug remote.js, I'm gonna just show you. So I think I'm gonna save this thing. One second. Something looks wrong. Sorry about that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restart Expo because I have a problem with my connection. So I'm gonna just show you if you get that too. So Expo start. I'm gonna just restart the project. I'm gonna just run my debug just to make sure this one we run again. And now when that's gonna start, I'm gonna run the Expo iOS. Like that. So now my simulator, oops, I need to start my simulator because I have some simulator from the iOS 11, so I need to run it by myself. Sorry about this. I just show you like if you get this kind of bug, what you can do. It just like the socket connection get like kind of confused, and I don't want to lose time to just reset every time. So now it looks like it's gonna work. And yeah, they work now. So now what I want to show you, it's now if I search, so I'm gonna go to my new tweet screen. So now the debug make it really slow. So that's where we get this kind of bad animation. But now if I search here, so I'm gonna open it. I don't know what my connection have, but now if I search for the new tweet screen, now you're gonna see now my user are gonna have everything, because when I say user, I say take the info from here. So you can see. So now I'm gonna shut down the debugger by doing Command D. So I'm gonna close the screen because now I have the keyboard who make me don't see nothing. So now what I'm gonna do, it's I'm gonna do here, and I'm gonna say I need the username. Yeah, because we need that for this thing here. So after that, what I need to, it's the first name. So this that prop that user first name. But now I copy too much myself, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna destructuring the user from this that props. So now I can say user that username, user that first name, last name equal to user dot last name, and after that I can say avatar equal to user dot avatar, because we know, like, thing about, like I told you, we are the viewer. So here we just need, finally, we know the one we're gonna create here is gonna be the user. Here is the one here, the one logged right now, the one who is inside the store. So that's why we can have access to all this thing. Perfect. So now if I do this, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna say something like this, and I'm gonna tweet. Nothing happened. Why? But do that save at least. Okay, it looks like it works. So I just rerun ESP iOS, but now you see the change is now there after I've refreshed my app. So looks like the optimistic is not working. Why? It's because you need to read display, adding to a list. So in the example above, we just show how to seamlessly edit an existing object in the store. But now in the case you want to integrate that to an existing query, because you need to think about that. We get the tweet when we did the get tweet query, as you remember, in the home screen. So we need finally to add that to this query because the screen is connected to this query. So we need finally to add that to the screen. So how we can do this is going to be pretty simple. It's first thing we need to import this famous query. So just for showing you, we need the same query as that. So I'm going to copy that inside the home screen. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to copy paste that because I'm going to need that. So this is what I'm going to need for building my finally my my update. So how we're going to do this is going to be almost like 5 lines of code. So inside the create tweet right there, after the create tweet, I'm going to say update. So we need to tell Apollo how to update. So here we have access to the store for the first thing. So that's going to be the full store. And after that, here I'm going to have the data, and I'm going to say create tweet. Why that? I need to do this. It's because of the way I did that here, because create tweet here. So now I have this. So now I can do an arrow right there. And now I can do some amount of logic here. First thing, I'm going to create a variable called data, who's going to be equal to an array finally. It's going to be an array. And this one's going to be the same as read query. So again, this read query is something you should go and take some time to read about that. But this is really like a thing we need to read in this place. Not using fragment, but it's like we're going to read from the cache. So if I can show you, it's like finally you need to think like we cache every tweet we have before. And the way we can read other query did before is by doing read query. Yeah, it's pretty hard to see, but so now you just need to see which query you want to read, and I'm gonna say my get tweet queries. So here we have that. So here we're gonna get an array of data. After that, I need to here to make sure that we don't gonna have 2 times the same value. So how I can do this is by doing finally a data that to get tweet, because that's gonna be the same way as I did in the home screen. You know, in the home screen when we take the data, we did data get tweet. So the same query is the same. So here it's an array, so I can use the find. Who finally it's a function. We're gonna return you the first element it find. So if you have 5 elements in your array, you're gonna stop at the first one. So here I can say T for tweet. So I want if the T, so if one of the tweets, so he look over each one. So T that underscore ID. So if this T is equal to create tweet that underscore like that. So here we make sure. So if what we say it's if I do this, I'm gonna say return true if I find like that, and here return false. So yeah. So now what I can do finally, it's if I'm sure no tweet have the same ID as the create tweet ID. Now what I can do is store that write query. So that's all you can write inside your cache. You say query, and you need to toggle again the same query data, and now here we're gonna say get tweet now is gonna be equal to an array like before, and here we're gonna spread the new a new object. So we're gonna create a new object, and I want this at the beginning, so that's why I'm gonna put that here. I'm gonna say dot 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 create tweet with an object with everything new. So this one here, and now what I can say, it's now comma dot 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 give me back my all other element I have in my array. So finally we merge both array with the new object coming in. So now if I do this and I type hello world, and I do this and I tweet, something looks wrong right now. So what I did wrong? So here, like I need finally to just get out of this thing here, and this thing gonna have the comma. So now I can do this. So finally I need to put my update outside of the mutation. So because I did a lot of text, I'm gonna just clean up my RoboMongo. So I'm gonna go to my new connection. I'm gonna open my tweet development. I'm gonna open my tweet, and I'm gonna just remove. I'm sure this one I'm gonna remove some of them. So now I can refresh my screen. So the last one is where. So I'm gonna say hello world again, and now if I click tweet, now it worked. Magic. So finally my error was the update don't want to go in the create tweet. Need to be outside. So that was my mistake. So I hope you enjoy. Again, I'm gonna put the repository inside the description. Just follow with the episode if you missed. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe if you didn't, and let me know in the comment what you think about this tutorial. And sorry about my error, but I'll show you a bit or I can debug myself. So hope you're gonna have a good day, and we talk later. Bye.